In this video, we're going to show you guys how to make a hot girl really interested over text. Now, normally you just have to meet the girl's interest threshold. However, in this video, we're going to show you how to go much past that and get the girl to the point where she's so interested that she's willing to break all her rules, take a bus for over an hour, and come straight to your place for sex. All right, so here's a photo of the girl so you guys can see what she looks like. And yeah, she's a hot blonde. And make sure you watch until the very end so you can see exactly what he did to get her over. And this is one of the guys in our mastermind group. He's Asian. We're not going to reveal his photo just for privacy reasons, but you get the picture. So he opens her with, "Not gonna lie, you seem just like my type." She says, "Haha, you're so forward. I'll take it as a compliment. So what's your type usually?" He says, "Better forward than backwards." Probably not the best joke, right? But whatever. "Nice lips, great style, adventurous, possibly daddy issues." Now, this is an interesting thing to throw in there. She responds with, "Possible daddy issues. Tell me a little bit about yourself." So this means that she probably doesn't, fit the criteria, right? Because a girl who had daddy issues would be like, "Oh my God, that's so me," or whatever. She'd probably respond possible to that. So this girl's more of like confused. She's more like bewildered, right? So he kind of drops it more or less. He says, "Yes, based off a supposed shower thought you had." He's referencing her bio here, but again, there's no response. So he waits actually a few minutes and then he double texts her and says, I guess he wouldn't even consider it double text. "Hi, I'm blank, born and raised in Sydney, studied BCom, STYUSD, then dropped out to strip, enjoy hiking, adrenaline activities, business, your turn." Right? Now, he actually did, I believe, strip at one point, partially or something like that. But you can throw that in there even if you don't, right? Obviously, you tell her you're kidding later on. You could be like, "Yeah, I enjoy male stripping," and blah, blah, blah. And she'd be like, "Wait, what? You're a male stripper?" I'd be like, "Yeah, you want a lap dance?" She'd be like, "Oh my God, yeah, sure." And then you could be like, on the date, you could be like, "No, I was just kidding about that," right? So that's fine too. She's like, "Hi," his name, "I'm her name. I study at, but also am an aspiring DJ on the side. I work at on my Saturday nights for my side hustle. I love road trips and spending time with my friends. How's stripping going for you? I'm sure you get this all the time, but I kill for a lap dance." And yes, I've tried this stripper thing many times where I just fuck around, pretend I'm a stripper. And pretty much every girl is like, "Yeah, like I want a lap dance." Some of that say it jokingly, some of it say it semi-seriously, but it's a really good way to just kind of playfully escalate the conversation. He says, "Oh, that heap's cool. I guess Australia has different slang. What music do you normally play? I don't think I've seen you at before, and that can be arranged. It can be quite intense though." Right, so this is nice because it's like 70% just like regular banter back and forth, but it's not like boring. It has like a fun vibe to it, but also it's got some flirting in it. Like him saying, it can be arranged, it can get quite intense though. So that's him kind of baiting the girl. She's like, "Oh yeah, why does it get intense," right? So this is good. He's got a really good combination here. And I think this works really well for more conservative girls who are a little bit more on the shy side, which this girl, you're gonna realize that she falls in that category. Because if you go just like too flirty, too sexual with them, they just kind of retreat, right? That works well on some girls, but other girls, you wanna just go more bantery, just kind of building up investment, right? Just really getting the girl interested over text. And trust me, once you get her really hooked, she's going to be much more likely to bend her rules and go out of her way to meet you. She says, "I don't DJ there. I just started, but my goal is to DJ there one day, hopefully. Usually I'm at the door, but I play R&B, EDM. Haha, I'm down. I've never gone lap dance before or been to a strip club actually, but it's always something I want to do. How do you decide to get into stripping?" So this is good. She's starting to invest a lot more. She was always investing a decent amount from the start, but this is a lot better. He says, "We're probably passed by each other, LOL. Hopefully you're COVID free because we'll definitely be breaking social distancing rules because this was during the pandemic. Long story short, I started as a topless waiter," which is interesting. I didn't even know guys could do that. "I only started working not long ago before Corona, so maybe that's why we haven't seen each other. Oh my God, you're such a bad boy for real. Speaking of COVID, how's the whole situation treating you?" Keep in mind, Australia had like the most intense fucking stupid lockdowns where everything was locked down for at least a year and a half. So that's the context. He says, "I'm a good boy." I don't know if I would say that. I'm a good boy. I would say, I don't know if you want to refer to yourself as a boy in general. So she says, "Oh my God, you're such a bad boy for real." I might make a joke here and say "bad boys for life," kind of referencing that movie. Then he says, "I study math all day before I rebel. Quite productive, actually. Been doing home workouts, cooking for myself, stuck up on wine and toilet paper, HBU." She's like, "Me too," in all caps. "I've been setting aside an hour each day to work out and throwing myself into upping cooking skills, and online uni coursework still keeps me busy. The pandemic is not treating me well in terms of toilet paper. I didn't stock up, so I'm badly running out. But yeah, so here they're just basically just kind of bantering and vibing, connecting, right? There's some connecting going on. They're kind of just talking about things they have in common, right? Like, oh my God, yeah, we're both into fitness, right? And kind of connecting, finding these mutual things that you guys both have in common is actually really good. He says, good to see you're getting nice and fit for our adventurous date too. And what I like about this is that he doesn't just like banter forever. He also kind of adds these texts to it, which kind of basically move things forward towards the date. And he says, upgrading from 2-minute noodles to normal noodles. So here he's teasing the girl about her cooking. She says, I used to gym, but I feel like I'm getting a lot more unfit now without it. Home workouts don't hit the same. No, I actually love cooking. I'm sure you have a pretty restrictive diet for your job. And he says, tell me about it. I'm trying to get creative with these 2 dumbbells I have. I actually have a huge sweet tooth, so I eat whatever. Good Asian genes. Oh, a girl who cooks. What do you like to cook then? Right? So again, it's kind of playful the way it's written. She's like, oh my God, you're the first guy ever who I've heard has a sweet tooth. I have a really big sweet tooth as well. And he's like, this might just work then. And this is also good. When you're kind of going back with the girl and getting her to invest, it's good to sometimes alternate between sending her like, kind of a longer message like you saw him do in the past, and then kind of sending her a shorter message and then getting her to invest even more, which is what he does here. She says, yeah, it's locked in. We definitely have to meet now. And that's really good. When she's the one saying we definitely have to meet now, you know that she's much more likely to show up. Plus, guys who don't have restrictive diets, all sort of things. I actually love all cuisines, but I just make carbonara. He says, we adding chocolate brownies to our date. Don't mind a good pasta. Would you be down for a drink this weekend? Probably would have phrased this differently, like, we should grab a drink this weekend. But yeah, she says, down for breaking quarantine and social isolation rules? Yeah, I'm down. What are you thinking though? Everything will be closed. And here we go. He says, like, I like this adventurousness in you. Hashtag yellow. So this is good. He's kind of like rewarding her for basically kind of doing what he wants, which is coming over his place or meeting up with him. He says, true, we can split a bottle of my highly sanitized. Okay, here's just a grammar. He's saying, true, we can split a bottle of wine on my highly sanitized romantic balcony. Here she says, I don't usually meet strangers at their houses on the first date, okay? But if we keep talking, I like you, I'll make an exception. Where do you stay, by the way? And yeah, this is like, girls will make exceptions all the fucking time if they have a good vibe from the guy, if they like a guy. So there's really very few things that are like ironclad rules, like, oh, I don't have sex on the first date. Well, with most guys, she might not have sex with on the first date, but with other guys, she definitely does have sex on the first date, right? So like all these rules are kind of, generally speaking, there's some exceptions, but they kind of bend depending on how much she likes the guy. So really all of this just comes down to vibes. He says, of course, I usually don't invite strangers to my house. It is important for me to have chemistry first and make sure you aren't some 150-kilogram dude. So this is a pretty good response. She says, I can confirm I'm not a 150-kilogram dude. And she says, okay, sounds like a plan. So this is good. So again, he's kind of built a lot of interest, but he's also moving it forward at the same time, which is good. He says, good to hear. Shoot me your number. We can sort it. We can sort out the details. She gives him the number and says, do you have Insta? And so this is good. So he gives her the Insta, which is fine, but he also has her number. So he texts her, hey, it's blank from the thing. Hey, I just followed you. We have mutuals, which is surprising, haha. And that's also good. Like if you have a semi-decent Instagram, like there's nothing wrong with just dropping your Instagram as you get her number. I do that all the time. Girl will be like, what's your Instagram? I'll be like, here you go. But I don't check my DMs much. What's your number, right? So that's totally fine to do that. You just don't want to just leave it at the Instagram alone and then like you don't have her number, He says, haha, small world, what are you up to? Just currently watching Money Heist currently, if you know. Season 4 came out, it's really good. What about you? I've heard good things. And then he sends her a photo, trying to up my cooking game too. And yeah, this is good. Once you've got like some good banter going with the girl, sending her photos. I usually use a photo of me playing with my dog, but sometimes I've used cooking photos in the past. Like that's a really good way of like basically kind of just, I don't know, making things feel more real for her. Like you seem more like a real person rather than just like a bunch of digits in her phone, She says, is that curry? Looks really good. I had my hot pot tonight for the first time. He sends a photo. Still going, though, a bit of a post-food coma. I live with my housemates, by the way, so we make food and binge watch Money Heist together. Ha, ha, ha. I guess this is what, young hot girls do. He says, yep, I've thrown in like 10 different spices on top. He goes, all right, nice, sounds like a good night in quarantine. Yeah, quarantine isn't half bad. I try and use the day to get all my work done, chill out at night. I would expect no less organization and discipline from a med student, haha. So here's teasing her. And yeah, really, I don't have much criticism. Like he's doing, I would say like 98, 99% all the right things. She says, yeah, I went down to uni today even to get some stuff done. What are you up to today? Also, what are your hobbies, things you like to do in your spare time? And also, this is a good example. Guys always say like, oh, once you have the date set up, what do you say? This is just a good example of how to banter, right? It just really, there's nothing specific that you need to be saying. It's not like it needs to be some logical exchange. It's just kind of vibes. It's just kind of like just going back and forth and just vibing back and forth. He says, just finished work. I enjoy outdoor activities a lot, finding good hiking, cliff jumping spots. The more challenging, the better. What about you? She says, oh, what do you do for work now? I used to do part-time retail, but eventually closed down everything. I've never gone cliff jumping, but I've always wanted to actually. As of now, I DJ a lot in my spare time. I'm really big on music. Used to do piano too, but I don't have one around anymore. What kind of music do you listen to? I feel like they had something very similar exchange earlier on the app. He says, sucks, but all the more time to practice DJing now. What made you decide to get into it, by the way? I like that. I like that you're passionate about it, though. I think it's important to diversify yourself and experience different things in order to become a more well-rounded person, not just book smart, for example. I mostly listen to trance these days, but R&B good too. And here's just also a cheat code. Like when a girl tells you that she does something, she's interested in something, you can just ask her what made her get into it, and that you will get a pretty detailed response usually. She says, yeah, quarantine is great for practicing DJing. It's basically self-isolating in your own room. I've always been really big on music and feel like it's amazing to control the atmosphere of an entire club, make people feel something. I guess there's a lot of other skills out there. I think holistic development is really important and just being open-minded in general too. He says performing is like an art form. It's a surreal feeling to be the source of good emotions for a crowd of people. Definitely big on being open-minded to have new experience. So this is good, kind of setting the frame because, you know, her coming over at his place will be a new experience. He says, yeah, for sure. She says, yeah, for sure. And that adrenaline that comes with being on stage. What are you up to today? At work right now. How about you? I got stoned last night and still am a bit. She says, just usual, staying at home doing uni work. I have wine and Zoom night with the girls this evening, so that's quite exciting. I got stoned the other day with my housemate while we were ate hot pot. It was really good, so ha ha ha. He says, you smoke too. This is good news. I get the worst munchies legit. I could eat a whole town. By the way, how does Friday around 8 p.m. sound? So this is good. I'm glad he's moving things forward. So yeah, this is just a combination of just like a lot of vibing and some moving it forward, right? She says, what about like 7? I still want to go home after, okay? Haha. So this is a really good sign when she says, I still want to go home after, okay? Haha. So she's assuming that she's going to be staying there for a while. Also, where do you say? Yes, 7 is good. I'm in blah, blah, blah. I'm in blah, blah. Oh no, that's a fat trek. He says, do you drive? I don't. I just Googled, don't worry. I'll probably just bus it. I've never met anyone on a hitch, so you're setting the bar for everyone else, by the way. Right? And yeah, the girls that don't meet much, like when you go for the close too fast with them, unless they're horny, they're probably going to drop off. So with girls like that who haven't really haven't had many experiences, you probably do need to build more interest first before going for the close. Cool, I can reward you handsomely with wine and snacks, lol. And I think if he went like explicitly sexual with this girl, it would have totally fucked it up. Some girls, you have to be a lot more implicit like that. Hope I don't set it too high. Yes to the snacks, please. Doubt it. Also, does Saturday work for you? Might be better for me. If you can't, it's okay. I'll make tomorrow work. Yeah, can't do Saturday. Going to be visiting family. That's okay too. Good then. What's your address? I'm going to figure out how to get there. So here's just logistics. And then he's like, all good, let me know when you get here. Hey, I just reached, am downstairs. And then he wrote that basically because she seemed kind of shy and reserved, he spent about an hour and a half just building comfort, slowly escalating, and they wound up having sex and hooking up on the first date. I think this is really just a great example of how to develop that interest before the date even begins. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable. Before you can seduce a girl over text, you have to start the conversation, which is why we released our best Tinder openers for 2025 video. The link is going to be in the description. It is 100% free, so check it out. It's not public anywhere else yet besides this link. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time.